Tonight, Governor, thanks for the time. You just heard Mayor Barrett on the stump. He often talks about you dividing this state, and that this really wasn't about the state's budget. It was really about breaking the backs of unions. How do you respond to that day to day?
Well, this mayor's been willing to talk about anything except what this election's all about. This election was about our reforms. Our reforms have documented now more than $1 billion worth of savings for the taxpayers. For the first time in 12 years, property taxes on a median valued home have gone down. And the state that had a $3.6 billion budget deficit when I first took office now has a $154 million surplus. Those are the things our reforms did. And best of all, our reforms helped the people of this state create more than 30,000 new jobs since I took office. That's what it's all about.
Well, Governor, they say that the unions were ready to deal on the specific points and that you weren't, and this was really about busting the unions. That's what they say every stop. Now you have this recall that's pretty unprecedented. You're feeling going into tomorrow?
Well, we feel positive. I've heard from a lot of people this weekend and again today, even at some union shops, some people who've said to me, you know, I voted for your opponent the last time. Some other folks at a manufacturing plant that told me they've historically voted Democrat, but they're voting for us. And they said the reason's simple. For the first time in their lifetime, someone in a statewide office has had the courage to take on the tough problems, the courage to tackle our fiscal and economic crisis in this state, to think more about the next generation than just the next election. And that's exactly what we set out to do. My response for doing what we've done over the last year and a half was real simple. My sons, Matt and Alex, I wanted to make sure they inherited a better state than the one we did, and I didn't see it going that way 2 years ago. That's why I ran for governor. That's why I took the action I took, and that's why I'll continue to move in a way that moves our state forward and not backwards.
Governor, Mayor Barrett also talks a lot about the outside money going into this campaign, saying that billionaires in Texas and elsewhere are funding your effort, and they don't care really about Wisconsin. That's his talking point again and again.
Well, that's, again, you got the mayor talking about anything except our reforms and about the issue of jobs, because he doesn't have a plan on the budget. He doesn't have a plan on economic development. But it's interesting. If you look, he forgets that for the last year and a half almost, since early last spring, you've had the national special interest groups from Washington and beyond coming into Wisconsin, pouring millions of dollars attacking me, bringing in thousands of people to attack me, not only when we passed the reform, but through the state Supreme Court race, through the state Senate recall elections last fall and the recall petition drive, and since the beginning of this year. In response, people from across Wisconsin and throughout this region have overwhelmingly supported us. In fact, more than 70% of our contributions come from people who've given us $50 or less. This is a grassroots movement of people who say, finally someone stood up and took on the powerful special interest and put the power back in the hands of the hardworking taxpayers.